اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق وهذه إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره مقداره العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. الحمد لله رب العالمين. أفضل صلاة وتام تسليما على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ورضي الله تعالى عن السادة التابعين وعلماء آملين وأئمة أربعين مجتهدين مخلديهم إلا يوم الدين. أما بعد. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This is part 2 and continuing the text Matn Ashmawiyya from last week. Inshallah ta'ala, I want to try to complete the text in about maybe 2 months, drag it out a little bit, inshallah, get some explanations and explain some things. This text is the text in one of the primary texts of the Maliki school in the Eastern Hemisphere, Balad Sudan. Normally it's taught in Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, Chad, and places in Somalia that has of the people who follow the Amal Ahl Medina. The part 2 of this text is on Aqsaam ul-miyaah allati yajuzu min al-wudu. The type which is on the types of water which are permissible to use for wudu. Now, in regards to the classification of water in general, the ruling on water in general is ma'u tahir bi nafsihi bi ghayrihi. That water is pure in itself, and it's that which makes other things pure, which means that sufficient enough to purify anything is water. The consistency of water, washing, rubbing, and cleaning vessels. Like, so you have a vessel with any type of liquid substance, any type of watery liquid substance. We're not talking about oil, things that water cannot mix with, or anything of that like, but we're talking about water. If you continuously pour water into that vessel, it will eventually clean whatever impurities that are in that vessel. But in regards to the water which are permissible for wudu, know, and may Allah Ta'ala, the Exalted, grant you success, that water is of 2 types: mixed water and unmixed water. In regards to making wudu, you're using for making wudu. Mixed water is tahir, pure. It is absolute water which is permissible for the use of wudu, whether the water descended from the sky, rainwater, whether it was sprung from the earth. This type of water is called ma'u, not water from the eye. Ma'u is spring water, and which is from the earth, which clarifies the type of earth. Boreholes where water spring forth, and wells where water springs forth from a well, etc. Now, mixed water is water which, due to this mixing changes in one of 3 qualities: either the color, the taste, or the smell. And this is divided into two types. It is water which becomes mixed with impurity and causes it to change color, taste, or smell. This water is impure, and it is not suitable to use for wudu. However, if the impurities does not cause it to change, and that water is little in amount, and the filth also is of little in amount. In this case, it is disliked to use for wudu, according to the mashhur, the prominent position in the method. You know what I'm saying? Which the mashhur is the prominent position in the Maliki method, which is because this is a Maliki text. This is what is referenced to when it talks about in the method, talking about the Maliki method, not no other method, because it's a Maliki text. It is disliked to use this type of water in the presence of cleaner water. All right, but if that is the only water left, then in that case, there's no harm, meaning that this is no other clean water that's near it, and this is the only water that's left. You have to make wudu in order to make the salah. All right, so then this is the only time it is permissible to use with the absence of cleaner water. But when there's cleaner water around, then you cannot use that water, nor can you take the cleaner water and purify that water, because you have to reserve water to make wudu. It is the second type. It is water which is sometimes mixed with something pure, and that pure substance changes the water. If that pure substance is something which can be separated or prevented from being mixed with the water, like water mixed with saffron, roses, or dough, or anything like that, then this water is pure in its essence, but is not purifying. Nonetheless, it can be used for the use of other things like cooking, baking, drinking, and things that but it cannot be used for worship. Meaning you could take this water and use it to clean something else, or you can use it for cooking or baking, but you cannot use this water for the purpose of wudu. Even though the substance that mixed with the water is pure, or anything of the sort, for wudu, for worship, wudu, or anything of the sort. If it is mixed with that which cannot be avoided or prevented from it, like water which has been changed by salt or mud or things like that, or by arsenic or sulfur or things of such nature, then this kind of water is pure and permissible for wudu. Like for example, pond water. Pond water is normally water that is settled. I mean, a pond, it normally either naturally builds up, or you man-make the pond. And there's no water that comes in and flows, that continuously flow and flow out somewhere else to continuously make this water pure. This is the particular case that is talking about. But you cannot avoid things that are pure that falls into it, or mud or salt, because mud builds up at the bottom of a pond. So normally you would take the top of the water to purify yourself. And Allah Ta'ala knows best. This is just a brief classification of water that is permissible to make for wudu. And alhamdulillah, I'm gonna go to the next section, and then after this, I'm gonna end the class after this section, inshallah. The next section is on wudu. This is part 3. The fara'id, the sunnah, and the fada'il of wudu. This is normally the topics that people don't really touch on. They just learn how to make wudu, and they learn what nullifies wudu, but they don't learn what is the fara'id of wudu, what is the sunnah of wudu, what is the fada'il of wudu. Normally, this is what we're supposed to learn directly after we learn how to make wudu. What is fard, sunnah, and fada'il, meritorious acts of wudu. But to continue, the fara'id acts of wudu, what is compulsory, wajib, acts of wudu are 7. The niyyah is 1. To make the niyyah when washing the face. When washing the face. All right. It is mentioned that the niyyah to be observed just before washing the face, since it is the first obligatory limb to be washed from among the obligatory limbs. This is not, we don't start wudu with washing the face. We're talking about the fara'id of the wudu. What is the fara'id? All right. However, it is highly recommended to make it at least at the onset, maintained until the washing of the face. The niyyah is not to be said out loud. It is in the heart. Also, it is not any specific utterance or wording. It suffices that you become fully aware that you intend to remove hadath, purity, in order that you may enter into a state in which it is permissible to pray, to touch the Quran. Now, in the niyyah of wudu, which is also the mashhur of the mashhur of the madhab in regards to making the niyyah for the wudu is for whatever particular act of worship that you do. This is a side note, that every particular act of worship that you do. Or you can make a general niyyah that you make in wudu for all acts of worship. So this will cover reading Quran, touching the Quran, salah, dhikr, all of this. But if you make wudu for praying a particular salah, then after you pray that salah and then you touch the Quran, that wudu was not for the Quran. Or you make wudu for dhikr and you have to pray. You have to make another wudu for the salah. You have to make another wudu for touching the Quran or reading the Quran. This is the general ruling in the Maliki school. So if you're gonna make your niyyah for wudu, then you make a general niyyah for wudu for all acts of worship. This is your niyyah. Then you wash the face. You wash the face. Wash the hands, including the elbows, which means from the tip of the fingers to the elbow. In between the nails, up under the nails, each crevice must touch water. That's why when we make wudu or ghusl, we rub in our school. The face, and we wash the face from everything that is including the face, from the hairline, the earlobes, and under the chin. If you have a thick beard, then you could just make masa over the beard with water. If you have a small beard like I do, when you wash the face, you make sure the water gets to the skin. MashaAllah,